In a man's life or a woman's life, sometimes you get to a point where you just need a car that gives you all the fun, all the glory of a driving experience. And this car that we are driving today on this episode of Conversation is that car that will give you all that plus reliability. Welcome to another episode of Conversations. The car we are driving today is a 2016 Toyota Auris. This is the second generation of the Auris, and it's being propelled by one very reliable and balanced engine, and that is the 2ZR, 1800cc of engine displacement. But what is more interesting is not what is driving this car on the engine side, but rather the transmission that is paired to this car. And probably you guys are wondering, what kind of transmission? I've already shown you. So this is a manual 6-speed transmission from Toyota, and this particular Auris is just not your normal Auris. It's actually the RS version of the Toyota Auris, which makes it a perfect combo. Putting together the 1800cc to a 6-speed manual transmission on this body ratio and weight just makes this car not very fast, but a very interesting car to drive. I can actually say it's fun, and I'm really enjoying it. Really enjoying it. Compared to what we did last time with the Vitz GS RS with a CVT transmission, I think this is where the pure niceness of just driving an RS version of a car is. I'm loving it. And the way the engine, the 2ZR and the 6-speed manual puts power on the ground is just short of pure niceness. I love it. I love it. I'm literally enjoying driving this car. This second generation of the Toyota Auris comes in with a bit of different trims, and I'll give them as I explain to you how that is related to the engine options. So it comes with 4 trim levels. The first one is what we call the 120T, and then we have the 150X, and then we have the 180S, and last is saved for the final one, which is the RS. Now, the 150X comes in 2 configurations. You can either get it with a 4-wheel drive configuration or a 2-wheel configuration, but the 120T comes only in 2-wheel configuration. And this particular one, the RS, also comes only in 2-wheel configuration. These are the options you get when you're buying this car from Japan. I know the European market, like the UK, will give you different varieties in terms of what you get around the trim, but this is for guys who are purporting to import this car directly from Japan. So what engine options do you get if you choose to import this car from Japan? One is the 8NR, which is a 1200 turbocharged engine from Toyota, which again is sporty and gives you a bit of performance feel when you're driving it. The second one is the 1NZ. That is the legendary engine that we still featured on the former review of the Toyota Vitz GS RS. And final is saved for the last, which is the 1800cc 2ZR, paired to either a 5-speed manual, a 6-speed manual, a CVT in other markets, and then there is one transmission that Toyota has brought up on this platform, which is called the multi-mode transmission or gearbox. So what is the multi-mode gearbox on the Toyota lineup? The multi-mode gearbox is basically a manual transmission like this one, but it's being actuated electronically to shift gears. And that is something I think you guys have heard us talk about, the automated manual transmission on other platforms like the Peugeot 208 and the Peugeot 308. So this is the Toyota version of their manual automated transmission. What does the 1800 2ZR engine put out? It puts out approximately 142 to 144 HP and 180 Newton meters of torque. They look like small numbers, but trust me, when you're driving this car, it feels a bit punchy. It's not the fastest, but it makes you feel like you're driving a car that has a bit of that juice there. So that is what you get on the 2ZR on this platform. Let's talk about the problems on the 1800 2ZR engine from Toyota. Mostly people have said the valvematic system on this car is a bit problematic, but I'm here to tell you that it's not a big issue as such. What this car requires, or what this engine requires, is very good service and maintenance, and also the valvematic system itself, which is an improved version of the VVTi system that you guys are used to seeing on every Toyota's engine written on top VVTi. So these are revised and updated system of the VVTi system, the variable valve timing system on the Toyota. So good maintenance, good oil grade, good air filter, good oil filter. I think the engine on this car will serve you for ages without a problem. The value proposition of this engine is it provides you a balance between power and fuel economy. And this particular engine is able to give you up to 15 kilometers to a liter if you drive it well. And again, it's pushing out 142 HP and 180 Newton meters of torque. And that power in relation to that fuel economy, it gives you a balance. When you need the power, it's there. When you need fuel economy, it's there. So the 2ZR provides a value proposition in terms of just fuel economy and power as well. Built on the Toyota AMC platform is the Toyota Auris 2016. Of course, a refreshed version is the second generation, so you get a bit of new things here and there. We've done a review of the Toyota Auris before. If you haven't watched it, the normal Auris, Google will put a link at the pop-up at the top here. But what makes this car a bit unique and different from the other normal Toyota Auris that we reviewed? One is the aggressive honeycomb grille that you get on this one, and then a dual tone split bumper at the front just makes this car look aggressive enough to show you that I have an RS badge. So don't try to play with me. On the side, of course, you get newly updated HID lights just to make sure that your visibility on the road is fantastic. It's running on size 17 wheels, and the wheels here are NK original alloys. Perfecto, value for money, you get your money. And we're running on Pirelli Sports Performance, just to make sure that your grip on the road is fantastic and phenomenal. Disc at the front, disc at the rear, a very nice side skirting that comes all the way to the rear to just give you that RS performance look. And let's talk about suspension. So on this car, you have normal McPherson strut at the front and independent suspension at the rear, and that combination gives this car one simple and interesting driving dynamics. It handles like a dream, it sits on the road and tucks in properly, and you're taking your corners, the suspension is able to give you complete and utter performance dynamics when you're driving this car. The sportiness of the Toyota Auris flows all the way to the back with rear lights that are curved and edgy and just give you that look. I think if you look at the Toyota Yaris, the GR at the rear, you can see a lot of resemblance going on, and that shows you just how sporty this car looks. Again, a very nice black rear diffuser, which is very small. I don't know where they took all the meat from here with an exhaust tip that is not sporty, but it makes the work done. In terms of practicality, so this generation of the Auris compared to the previous generation of Auris, the previous generation of Auris had 270 liters, cubic liters of space at the rear, but this one is an improved version. So it packs up 360 liters, which is a very huge difference. So what I'm trying to say is you get better practicality when you're buying this generation of the Auris compared to the previous generation. Nothing much to talk about. So you know what the RS is. Valvematic we've talked about. So let's go into the interior of this car, and I want to show you some few interesting things about the Toyota Auris 2016 RS. The interior of the Toyota Auris RS is very simple and direct forward. You have very nice soft plastic, which again, I know it being from Toyota, it will live to 100 years. You have fake, but looks very nice. Carbon fiber finish all the way cutting across the dashboard to this end. Piano black with an infotainment system that already has been set for you. Just plug in an Android radio and enjoy the goodness of a good sound system. Talk about the sound system. This car has an very nice and balanced sound system that I would love you guys to listen to. Only that I cannot play the music because, you know, I'll be given a copyright strike. But the sound system of this car is very nice. Tactic buttons to control your AC, which again, as I told you before, I love tactic buttons. It just makes the work easier and it makes the feel good anytime you're adjusting those parameters. Dual AC at the front, a very nice, easy, multifunctional steering. I know, being a Toyota, everything will be manual, but at least you have it telescopic. And coming down to the seats, bucket seats with orange stitching to just give you that sporty look and sporty finish, which makes this car actually a very good package balance in terms of just what you pay for it versus what it does. A very big and huge panoramic sunroof all the way to the rear to add in the ambience and enjoyment as you shift your gears. Talking about the gear shifter, you have a splitter when you're doing the reverse. So those guys who drive European cars, I know you know this. So hii reverse hauingizi kama gari zingine. So you have to pull it up. It's called a range splitter. So you pull it up. There you go. And then traction control, easy. On the digital cluster instrument, very nice traditional cluster controls with a digital segment at the middle, which gives you different options and just displays different things when you drive this car. This being a Toyota, of course, I know when you're buying this car, storage is one element that you want to pay attention to. So you have a very huge glove compartment. You can fit in mtoto wa mwaka moja hapo. I think they can fit in them quite properly. You have a very small storage compartment here that doubles up as your armrest, which makes it good. Very huge cup holders, which can fit my nice bottle here. At the rear, watu wa nyuma, there are actually two. So there are two cup holders there. And your door bins, they are also huge. You can fit a very big, probably 1 liter bottle comfortably there. So that's perfect. But let's talk about one of the most important thing about this car, and that is safety and technology. So I need you to know that first, this car is 5-star rated in terms of safety. So it is equipped by what we call the Toyota Safety Sense. And what does Toyota Safety Sense encompass? One, you get things like lane departure, you get things like rear and front collision mitigation. You get a lot of sensors that just protect you against all the possible eventualities of a scenario where you can go into an accident. They protect the driver. And talking about protection, you need to know that the child occupancy on this car, if you're carrying your child, 84% chances are if you're in an accident, the child will come out safe or alive. I know guys have this debate around, European cars are more safer than Japanese cars, but I'm telling you, this car is 5-star rated. So that is 84 on child occupancy and 92 on adult occupancy. In case you're driving and there are people around this car that are vulnerable, that you can probably knock or do anything to, Toyota says that on this car, those people have a 68% chance that they'll be safe in case you're driving this car around them. So pretty an improved version of what Toyota is offering on this platform in terms of safety. And not only on this one, I know the Auris, the Toyota Safety Sense came earlier from 2016, but you're only going to get this technology from other cars at the Harrier and the Toyota RAV4 all the way from 2018 or latter years of 2017. So guys who are planning to buy those huge cars, I think you have probably a year to wait before you get to access this awesome safety technology from Toyota. Of course, how does it feel to drive the Toyota Auris RS? I must confess, I'm a bit surprised by what this car can do in terms of just how it handles. Let me try something here so that you can see. There's a corner coming up. I'm at 120 right now. Of course, downshift. I'm doing 140. It's just easy cruising into the corners. I know I've driven the Golf GTI, the Golf TSI. I've done the Peugeot 308. I've done the Citroen DS, and I can tell you there is no significant departure from how this car feels, just in comparison to those, European counterparts. It's solid. It grabs the ground quite well. The view of the road is quite clear and open. I don't know, and the steering wheel just feel awesome. I don't know what Toyota are doing with this. I think when Toyota started going towards the performance aspect. And this is one good thing with having a CEO or a chairman of a company that understands motorsport. I think there's too much that has been borrowed from the GR versions of the Yaris and just put on this platform small things that just make this car a unique car to drive. What else are you looking for? So the only thing that has remained to confirm on the 1800cc 6-speed manual transmission Toyota Auris is how does it accelerate from 0 to 100. And today we have a gadget that is going to measure that scientifically. Tutaki maneno ya guesswork, and I'll tell you when I get Mbugua inside the car. So let's do this. Welcome guys to the most favorite segment of this review. Na niko hapa na Mr. Mbugua.
Most important.
Mbugua siku hizi wanasema tangu kuja hapo kuwe Mr. Yes. Unatoa tu bullets by bullets. So this is the most important segment. So now we have 6-speed manual Mbugua with an 1800cc to ZR. Okay. On an Auris. Sitaki kuongea mingi. To confirm mambo alafu tuongee mwisho. What do we have there, Mr. Mbugua?
Today we have an app called Draggy.
With a device. This is a device. This is a Draggy device that connects to the satellite and brings us all the data down to the app. Sawa, Mr. Mbugua?
Tutaonyesha vile inaonyesha everything.
Yes. Marai watu walikuwa nasema nini Mr. Larry reached out. Thank you sana Mr. Larry and your wife. He's a fan of the channel, he's a friend of the channel. Akasema bwana Ibrahim na Mbugua kwa sababu nyinyi ni watu wangwana. Hata kama mambo ilichemuka, chukueni kitu mpiga nayo show. So, courtesy of Mr. Larry, again, big up yourself, Mr. Larry. We have the Draggy gadget, and now we can officially say our 0 to 100 are going to be precise, bila kudanganya, and legit. You can put a stamp on it.
So there's a way when we've tested it.
Yes.
And there's a way imeandikwa verified.
Kabisa.
The numbers.
Kabisa. And we'll be able now to have an official leaderboard. So that now,
start now.
In fact, this is the first car that starts because we can now verify our
numbers.
Are you ready, Mr. Mbugua?
I'm ready.
Mimi nimeshaweka number 1. And I'm official to launch in 1. Hata hii sitaji countdown.
Uko tayari?
Low subtraction. Come on. Up on a red line. And I'm 100, Mbugua. But let me get to your quarter. Let me get to your quarter and see how much you'll do in quarter.
You have all the numbers.
You have all the numbers.
I have all the numbers.
Wow. Let's see. Talk to me. Talk to me.
So,
yes.
Draggy inaniambia 0 to 100.
Yes.
13.93 seconds.
Okay. Those are not pleasing numbers. I expected better numbers.
Actually, it's 13.93. You have to agree with those numbers.
Yes.
A quarter mile is 19.17 seconds.
Hey.
Hizo
ndo ziko.
But averagely Toyotas, if you've noticed, this is the bandit wanachezeanga.
Mbugua. Those are not very appealing numbers. But again, as I said, this car, I don't know how much did the Vitz GS RS do?
Around 13 seconds also.
13 seconds. On a CVT. Let's take away the point. I might be a slow shifter. Okay, again in manual, you will not with a computer, of course. So there is that one aspect. Aspect number 2, this guy is slightly bigger and heavier than the Vitz, but the Vitz are running on the 1NZ and this one is running on the 2ZR. But so 300 more milliliters of displacement.
We'll compare this to the maybe Mazda Xela.
Yes. Mazda Xela did it in 12 seconds. With a 2-liter engine, Mbugua. but that was a 2-liter engine. Actually, it's a natural. I don't know why we are crying. It's a natural aspirated engine paired to a 6-speed. The only fun bit is how this car drives. When you're buying this car, I think for me, the take home is it's how the car drives. It might pick up better speeds towards once you start going, but 0 to 100, nothing. But just the way the car drives, you just listen to it, just the way the car drives. That is where the juice of all this is. So, but we can say the numbers are not pretty. And now we have something that we can verify and confirm. Unlike ile ingine tulikuwa tunawaambia pia labda kulikuanga na error, you never know. So this one is verified. This one is a timestamp. We are using the satellite to drop down the numbers, and it's giving us a scientific, and in fact it has a stamp written verified. With it.
See what I was telling you, we can see.
Yes,
It's verified.
Verified. So I think they'll be looking at this on screen because we are screen recording it. So you'll put it just beside here. They'll be looking at it. So what is your take home, Mr. Mbugo? What is your take home?
Take home
On the Auris.
Auris.
Yes.
One, the Auris.
Yes.
It's more of the. Okay,
So take 2, 1, 2. What is your take home, Mr. Mbugo?
Okay, my take home. It's a fun car to drive, especially the stick.
Yes.
But other than that, if you're looking for, do not be disappointed when you're buying this car thinking unaenda kupigana na mse wa TSI ama nini.
No.
Buy this car to go have fun with it.
Yes.
Ukienda kushindana pale na TSI, mse ako na 1.4 turbo.
Atakukula.
Atakukula.
Hata wacha TSI. Hata ule jamaa wa Suzuki.
Swift.
Swift kale ka 1000, ka booster jet.
It did 11 seconds.
It did 11 seconds. Yeah.
So basically this car, and it looks nice.
Of
now
course.
for me, one downside about this was always been, I mean, I've already told you,
Pricing. You have a problem with pricing.
I have a problem with this car pricing.
Can we talk about pricing tukimalizia show nje?
Value for money.
Value for money.
Cold in the water, broken and still feel nothing at all but pain and the chill. Said I'm cold in the water, broken and still feel nothing at all.
I know. The performance guys are like, what a shame. 13 seconds? Okay. I have some good news. That if you're a guy who believes in performance, I'm not sure if you can be able to get the car right now to the Kenyan market space. But in case you want, there's an option of a car on this platform that participated in the Motorsport Championship. And that is what they refer to as the S Corolla, which featured a 2000 naturally aspirated engine by the name the 3S GE. And it was paired to a 6-speed sequential gearbox. And I can tell you, if you can get that pair and probably have this platform and kick in those things, if you ask me, probably I'll take the 3S GTE and pair to the 6-speed sequential, and then I have a complete race car to go on the track and show people what I can do. So the biggest question is, who will buy this car and how much does it cost, and what will make you choose this car as your next drive? 3 things to consider here. Thing number 1 is the compactness that this car provides, and that is something that people love. There are people out there who are just looking for a compact packaged car like the Toyota Auris. Number 2 is of course reliability. Someone who is planning to buy a Toyota, more so the Toyota Auris RS, is looking for a performance package diced with a bit of reliability, and that's what you get with the Toyota Auris 2016 RS. And the final thing is what we call a pleasurable driving experience. So you're buying this car, of course, because of the 6-speed manual transmission. You're going to enjoy your gear shifts, you're going to enjoy the acceleration, you're going to feel connected with the car more as you drive it, compared to having like the other one we drove here with a CVT, which was just meh. So this car will set you back 2.1 million Kenya shillings. I know that price is relative to the cost of bringing this car all the way from Japan to here. It's relative to the quality of the car, like mileage and all that, and also it's relative to what this car drives on. So a normal Toyota Auris will set you back anything between 1.8 million Kenya shillings all the way to 2.5. Of course, if you're planning to buy this car, you'll find it at AUTOSELECT by Conversation, the home of verified quality cars. And this particular unit, this review has been made it possible by Kitololo Imports. So big shout out to the guys from Kitololo Imports for lending us this car for this particular review. Without further ado, I want to say have an awesome week. My name is Ibrahim Toloi. I want to ask you to follow me personally, but I will not. But if you can't, please follow me personally on my social media platform. That is Ibrahim Toloi on Facebook, Instagram, and X. And I will see you on Sunday with another epic review of a very awesome, beautiful, and performance car.
The pain and the chill. Said I'm cold in the water, broken and still feel nothing at all.